Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our weekly episodic show, AR Wrestling, going over Raw and Smackdown with my co-host, Ryan.
What up?
And y'all sit back, relax, and enjoy the episode as usual. We saw, I'm going to get right into it, man. We saw
Get
a
right
few
into
people
it.
get
Dive
medically
straight into the
uncleared,
action.
not be medically cleared.
We saw a couple people this week.
Yeah, there was Drew
Saw,
McIntyre who, on Raw, it was actually posted before Raw.
yeah, Adam Pearce, because of his elbow injury, he was pulled from the King of the Ring tournament.
Yeah, Bobby Lashley was also pulled from the King of the Ring tournament, and I seen his injury. So what happened was when he went to go bounce off the ropes snapped, and he went right over the second rope, and like his back, like an upper back, like neck area, just like it hit the apron, the middle part of the apron, and that's what I'm thinking on why
That's
he's injured.
happened to him so many times. It may not be him that I'm thinking of, but I can remember him doing that at least 2 times now.
And then we had, sadly, a former queen, I think the defending queen of the ring, Zelina Vega. She was not able to compete. I seen it today on, I think today or like yesterday on X. I forget when. I mean, we're recording this a day late, but I mean, it's Mother's Day weekend. We were spending time with our families. What can you expect from us?
Right. Another one we saw was Asuka get pulled from the Queen of the Ring tournament.
I did see that.
That
I
was
think it was
pretty
a good
upsetting.
idea.
So we saw that get furthered on in storyline later on in Raw, actually.
That's crazy.
Yep. All right. Speaking of Raw, let's dive right into the show.
Hell yeah. So we actually opened Raw with a pretty interesting segment, which I thought was interesting because I saw it. Because when I first saw the opening for Raw, it was Damien, and I was like, "Oh, okay. He's not going to be able to, or he's just going to, be his cocky self and not, give them any credit for what happened at Backlash." But he was like, "Guys, I'm sorry. I was sorry for the way I acted. Like, and I understand you guys were helping, and honestly, I really appreciate that. I'm gonna, start taking steps a different way now." So Finn and JD were so called apologizing over the weekend from how Finn made it sound, but Damien was like, "Look, I understand that, but now I am sorry for what I did to you two at Backlash," saying that he basically was like, "Dude, I overreacted. It was in the heat of the moment. I apologize. I'm so sorry."
Mm-hmm.
But I think something that was pretty interesting to me was how Damien mentioned that he wants Finn to become a prince, to become a king.
Yeah.
I like that. What is his nickname? Like the demon?
His name, like outside of like being the demon, like normally is just like the Prince, apparently.
Hmm.
Like because his name in New Japan was like Prince Devitt, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
So they basically just took like the first part of that name and gave it as his nickname now in WWE is the
So I thought,
Prince.
who the fuck was the Prince of Darkness then?
The Undertaker back in the Attitude Era.
Oh, that's what his nickname was. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty interesting,
Phenom.
which I thought was gonna give Finn like a push for like him winning King of the Ring, but it wasn't. It was actually interesting because Finn was like, huh, "Dude, Drew's unclear. Guess what I get to do? I get a free pass tonight. Let's go hang out." Adam Pearce came out and he gave Finn a replacement in main event.
So.
And I'm not gonna lie, King of the Ring round 1 match was actually pretty good. I will say that it did suck not seeing Drew in this, but I don't think Finn versus Drew Finn versus Drew didn't draw my eye. To be honest, some of these matches and like the whole tournament over the entire week didn't draw my eye necessarily, but I still watched them because I still found them interesting. Like that's really where I'm at. How do you feel about this whole tournament so far before we really dig into this?
When it comes to the tournament so far, like I look at like both sides of the bracket, the SmackDown and Raw sides for both men and women's.
Yeah.
I'm a lot more interested in the men's Raw side than I am the women's Raw side. And vice versa, I'm a lot more invested in the SmackDown women's side than I am the SmackDown men's side.
I think I am too, because for Raw this week, we saw a lot of people come in.
We did see a lot of it. It was two very match heavy episodes, which I was personally a big fan of.
Yes,
It definitely had its share
I
of
agree to
segments
that.
as WWE like usually does, but it was definitely more so focused on the matches. Some of the matches were very quick, yes, but there were a ton of matches on this card, and it was pretty fun. I liked it.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of Jey Uso, I mean, I know we're kind of backtracking here, going to Backlash. He tweeted out, I think today, actually, from the Usos Twitter themselves, or Usos X count, whatever you want to call it. Y'all ain't got no damn choice. Fireflies are mine now. And I had replied to it as, what if they are kind of, that's another hint at, okay, now this is an opponent for the Y6. This is one of their first targets.
Jay,
Mm-hmm.
what if they? So a lot of people have been speculating the Bloodline is going to take over War Games this year. What
Okay.
if War Games is typically a 5-on-5 match? And if
Right.
we are about to see a Wyatt 6 or a Wyatt 5, that's a perfect group to put into War Games. So what
Right.
if all of these teases that we've been seeing, um, I'm sorry, I'm just going to go ahead and mention it now. Like we saw CM Punk get blurred out in a video. We've seen Jey Uso, we just saw Jey Uso kind of get like targeted. You mentioned potentially Jey Uso being their first target. What if this is them sort of revealing the team of baby faces that could go that they're going to plan on targeting that's eventually going to lead to a War Games match, the Wyatt family versus like Jey Uso and all these other guys.
That's interesting. Honestly, but I don't know how you tie it in just yet because I mean, we haven't seen anything from them except the teasers, obviously. So we don't
Right.
necessarily know what is going to happen. I mean, I'm excited to see um, what's going on, to be honest,
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, like I said, like we all know this. I'm deep into this thing now. Like I'm excited. Um,
Yeah.
I think we'll see a lot with this new Y6, but I mean, I don't know about that just yet
Not sure about that.
because with this War Games match, you would kind of are you doing men and women in this match? Because you got to think there's also Nikki Cross who's been revealed by PW Insider to
They
be leaked
could
to be in the Wyatt Six, and then potentially Alexa Bliss will be joining.
they
Or
can join the women's side of the War Games match. Like women's have a War Games match too, similar to what they did in the Judgment Day and Damage Control 2 years ago when Rhea Ripley joined Damage Control to fight against the babyface team that like Michin and Liv Morgan and a couple other people.
like Beach and Becky Lynch, Liv
Yeah, where
Morgan,
you kind of
whoever
tie
was on
in,
that match.
yeah, you tie in two feuds into War Games. Be like, I don't like this person, you don't like those people. They're friends. Why don't we be friends and go beat them up together?
So kind of what Drew did with the Judgment Day this year as well.
Yeah,
Okay,
basically.
or not this year, but last year, yeah, which would not be
Yeah,
last year.
I get you. I
But yeah,
get you.
okay, I like that. But we did Drew to get back on track. Let's get back on track of the match. We kind
Speaking
of
of Drew,
speaking of Drew, he came through the crowd and stared down Uso, which I thought was like, oh, now Uso's lost the match because you know their distractions are like heavy. Okay, they're kind of, oh, now you know someone's going to lose the match because they're going to cost them. Jay won. I was like, oh, okay.
Uso! King Yeet!
Uso,
King Yeet! King
King
Yeet!
Yeet. I don't know who he faces on Monday. I think I forget. I think it's Ilya on Monday, which I'm
It
excited for
is.
that match. That match is gonna be
Oh, it's gonna
awesome.
be Ilya Dragunov.
But we'll get to that match later.
Oh,
So we saw Jay win the match. Drew came through the crowd. Well, Drew and Pierce were backstage. Drew's pissed. He was deemed unclear. He's like, dude, let me go. Like, come on now, let me go. He's like, no. And so he gets in a newer muscle car. I think my dad told me it was a Camaro or a
oh
Vet or
yeah,
something like
yeah,
that. But then we see Punk roll up in an
yeah.
older car, which I believe was a Camaro.
Old
And
ass Camaro, his
he got
yellow
out
one.
asking where Drew was, and Pierce goes, dude, did you not just see him leave? And he goes, whatever. Can you have the guy play my music? And then he comes out. But we see him walk through. But in that moment, we saw our Uncle Howdy QR code, which I missed. I was just happening to scroll on X while I was watching Raw and seeing I missed it. I was like, damn. So I went back and rewatched. I went back. I was deep. I was doom scrolling, man. I was trying to figure out where, and it figured out it was literally right as soon as Drew had, or like right as soon as Adam Pierce left the screen.
Hmm.
But there was a long shot that followed Punk backstage after, like I said, he told Pierce to play his music, which I thought was awesome. But He ended up passing
Yeah,
Chad
these
Gable.
long
Oh,
shots are following people to the ring are freaking epic. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
yes.
you.
No, you're good. But he passes Chad Gable. And again, who is he yelling at? The Alpha Academy before going to the ring, before Punk was going to the ring. I don't really have much for that backstage part besides the Uncle Howdy QR code, but we'll get to later, as usual. But the Punk's promo was probably, this is the first thing that I pulled from it was, what if we go overtime? Because you know how The Rock's been going over, or was going over time during WrestleMania season. What if that was a subliminal Rock diss?
Yeah.
I mean,
It could have been. It definitely could have been.
can we see
Punk was
something with that?
definitely taking shots in this promo. This
Oh
was
yeah,
this was a Punk promo. You know me, I'm a huge Punk fan.
oh I am too.
I'm very on the fence about this promo. When I initially heard it, I thought it was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
But then I listened to it back, and I don't know. I'm not sure about it. Maybe you can get into some of the like more detailed parts of the actual promo and some like the bigger points, and I'll like
yeah,
when we get to the end of it, I'll say more of like what I have against it.
I got you. So was it, Pat Mac or no? Jesus. Okay, Punk told everyone to tweet at Drew right now to come back to the arena to fight Punk because he was looking for a fight and he was basically saying that Drew was a Twitter stan, which I found pretty funny. And he goes, Pat, tweet this. He goes, Pat on commentary goes, all right, I got you. I saw the tweet, dude. It was so funny. It was just a picture of Punk. It was from his point of view, which I thought was pretty funny. But when it comes to CM Punk, he's a 5-tool player. But when it comes to McIntyre, he's just a tool. And he kind of brings up how WrestleMania was kind of delayed for him, like his dreams of main eventing it and all. But Drew wants to pick a fight with the petty man. He picked a fight with the pettiest man on the roster, maybe even on Earth, which I found was actually
I liked that.
I thought that was
it was pretty funny.
Which I was thinking about this. I was watching YouTube over the week and over the weekend, and he really could pull up Drew's 3MB past.
He should. No one really has yet at this point
Because they're trying to keep Drew as a main event player, I think.
Yeah, so they don't really want to remind everyone of that. Yeah. But I think if anyone's going to do it, it should be CM Punk.
Yeah, but he asked Drew, do you hate me or do you hate yourself? Because you're a choke artist. And I'm a choke artist too, which I didn't know was a shot at AEW because you wrote in these notes. I was writing them as well, but you had got to writing them faster before I did.
I thought the Drew McIntyre line of "Do you hate me or do you hate yourself" was a pretty good line. I thought that this little section of the promo was probably my favorite part of the entire thing. When he said, "Because you're a choke artist," which was, I don't think it was meant to be, but that was a line thrown out on AEW TV as well by Samoa Joe, the world champion, when he was calling out Swerve Strickland and build up to the world title match. It could be like calling out something else, but when he said, "I'm a choke artist too," and he did a guillotine sign, it's when he got in a fight with Jack Perry backstage at AEW All In, he put Jack Perry in a guillotine. Yeah. And he pointed at Pat McAfee, and Pat McAfee on commentary just goes, "Oh yeah, I know. Yep, guillotine. Yep, guillotine."
I remember that.
And
I was confused.
I didn't realize it at first. I had to be like told that, like scrolling through socials when someone mentioned that on one of their posts, and I thought it was hilarious.
Oh yeah, but he said he'll break Drew's face next time he sees him. He'll break his heart because even if he makes him go to Glasgow, Scotland, he's gonna be hiding in a bowl of haggis. He's gonna break his face.
I'm gonna break your face.
I did bring up on our last episode with Punk having the Money in the Bank. What if Punk wins it and Drew wins the title at Clash of the Castle, and then that's how we see their feud kind of kick off even more because now Punk's like, dude, I'm hanging right over your head with this Money in the Bank briefcase, so you can't run from me now.
Oh yeah. Oh dude, I would love that. Like that would be like the ultimate game of cat and mouse with CM Punk holding the briefcase and Drew McIntyre being champion.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I mean, you said you thought it was a bit. You said on here. I see you said a bit repetitive. What do you mean by that?
So this entire promo was essentially CM Punk dragging out the show. He claims in this promo, he goes, "I'm going to hold the show hostage until Drew McIntyre gets back to the arena." That was the entire point of him telling everybody to tweet out at Drew McIntyre was, "I'm going to sit here until Drew McIntyre shows back up, and no one's going to be able to do anything about it." And then as he sits there, he constantly goes back to that point every time he needed to switch topics, and the entire time it felt like he was stalling, honestly.
He
And the
did
way he
say something about a story though, didn't he? Wasn't it like story time on Monday?
he
Is that
said it,
could
he
that
said, I'm
fit?
gonna tell y'all a story, but the
Okay.
story he told was the story that we've been told
Oh, okay.
every single time. He told the story of Drew McIntyre break, or I don't know what he did to his fucking tricep. Tore it. He tore it.
Yeah.
Told the story of Drew McIntyre tearing his tricep, and then he told the story of him screwing Drew McIntyre over at WrestleMania, and then he tells the story of them just not liking each other in general, and that's not really anything new.
Hmm.
So, in terms of when I say it's repetitive, that's all stuff that CM Punk has said before. This is all stuff that we know. This is nothing groundbreaking or new that really anyone expected to hear. And
Okay.
when he said
So
he's gonna, oh, go ahead.
no. You finish your thought because this is your
Oh,
thought. I don't want to cut
okay,
you off.
I got a bit more, but
No, go ahead. Take your time.
and then when it comes to him saying that he's gonna hold the show hostage, he's out there for 15 minutes, and then he's just like, oh well, guess I'll leave, and then just walks away.
Yeah.
Like no one makes him leave, no one confronts him to make him get out. Like if Drew wasn't gonna like come out, like it felt like we were waiting and hyping up, it should have been literally anybody. Honestly, it could have been anybody that you could build a potential CM Punk feud with, because Seth isn't on the show, so it couldn't have been Seth. It could have been someone like Sheamus. It could have been I don't know why I'm forgetting people now. Sammy. It could have been Sami Zayn. It could have been any of the Judgment Day to come out, and it could have been honestly a really good tool to not only fuel fire into the Drew and CM Punk feud, but also to tease a potential Punk feud with anybody else on the roster. I just think I don't know. In my opinion, this was not a very good CM Punk promo. This was a miss on my end.
Yeah. So then let's take it back to Drew. Drew
Yeah.
was doing the same thing for weeks, just saying Punk is preying on your downfall, and then he would go into his match with Rollins, and that was his promo. That was it.
Hmm.
So I
Yeah.
mean, I think Punk's now trying to play Drew's game. Like, hey, you're sounding stupider every week, so I'm gonna play your game, but I'm gonna be smarter about it. So I mean, I
Right.
think this promo we could see tomorrow, tomorrow night, could be different. I'll definitely take a deeper
Oh,
listen
for
to it.
sure.
But I thought it was a decent promo. But now you say it, not I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I do
You know,
that.
sorry. Okay,
I think
it's
that
only.
line. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. You first. You first.
Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry. It's the only way I realized it was after I listened to it like multiple times over.
Right.
It was like, I mean, those bars aren't really like good bars now that I like hear them back. That's kind of like my whole thought behind it. Was I listened to the promo a couple times, and it
Okay.
wasn't, yeah,
Okay.
hitting every time.
Right. But what was I gonna say? I think part of it being repetitive is, yeah, I think it's a good thing, to be honest. I think it'll help kind of push their feud because now Punk's playing Drew's game to make Drew be like, dude, you sound so stupid. And then Punk's going to basically use it against him in the future. Be like, yeah, dummy. I literally was doing what you were just doing. It just took you a shorter amount of time to get me back because I knew what you were doing.
Hmm.
Plus, I was injured. I don't think Drew's elbow is that big of an injury. I think he's going to be out for like another like week or two.
Right. I think that they might be hyping up the elbow. I mean, I don't want to speculate wrongly on somebody's injury, but think that they might be hyping the injury up a little bit more than it actually is.
Yeah, because like he didn't have a match at Backlash. So what happened? Like was it happen at like a live event
It happened
or
at WrestleMania, apparently, is what they're trying to say.
I could see it.
They're trying to say it happened at WrestleMania, and he's been working hurt ever since.
You remember the spot where Punk took out his legs?
Yeah,
That could
definitely
have
could
been
have
one.
happened there.
That's what I'm saying.
Definitely could have happened
Or
there.
it could have been like when Damien attacked him or something. Something it had to do with all that heat with Punk though. That's what I think. I think that's where it stems from.
Yeah, for sure.
But let's get into our next segment, which is a backstage segment between Ricochet and Jackie Redmond. And Ricochet was kind of going over. Oh, what was he going over? I don't remember what he was going over. I think last week on Raw, maybe. He's going over something with Jackie, and Braun Strowman comes in, and Jackie asks why Strowman saved Jey Uso, and it's because Braun said he couldn't stand bullies. Straight up, he can't stand Judgment Day because they're a bunch of bullies. So I think we see
Braun.
I think we see something come out of actually this Braun and Ricochet thing again, because they were a tag team at one point. They were a very good tag team. I think we bring it back.
Bro, I miss them being a tag team. I would love to see that ran back.
But I do like Strowman being back on the show, to be honest. It was awesome. I think again this is gonna lead more into the new Wyatt Six, but I think I might start calling the Howdy Six.
The Howdy Six.
Because it's under Uncle Howdy and not Bray Wyatt anymore. So I don't know. I think I should stay Wyatt Six personally, just to keep the aura, not the aura, but like I don't know, just kind of keep in a way paying respect to Bray, but make sure it's still like I've been saying, make sure it's still its own thing.
Right, I get you.
But after that segment, we went to the first Queen of the Ring round 1 match, the first match of the tournament actually for them. We saw Io Sky versus Natalya, and I think this was more of a match for Io to kind of just showcase what she's got.
I mean, this was a fucking banger.
I thought it was all right. I was all right with it. Honestly, I think the match with Hyper Niven and Jay Cargill was better in my opinion, but that's
oh my fucking god.
We'll get to that match when we get to that match.
Yeah. We'll talk about that match. Oh my god.
But we Dakota Kai distracted the ref by getting up on the apron, which was able to help Io get what she needed to do to win. But we found out during this match, it was the first match between Natalya and Io.
Mm-hmm.
We could probably see more of them in the future because Natalya's back on Raw.
Running back more.
Yeah, Natalya's back on Raw now. I think after this week or maybe a couple more weeks in NXT with whoever that girl she's mentoring or whatever.
They slept on that potentially being a title feud during Io's reign. That was they had a really good match on Raw, honestly. Like they could have had a pretty good title feud. They may in the future. I'd love to see it.
We learned after the match, after Io had pinned Natalya, that Asuka was injured, which I think we all knew. She was working. She had that scare back in March. So, like I was saying, so I think we knew this was coming. So Dakota Kai would actually give warnings to everybody on the roster, and also saying that she took Asuka's place against Lyra Valkyria.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she's gonna try to run Raw, like just like how Judgment Day is doing it, but like do it with obviously the women's division.
Hell yeah!
From there, I mean,
I'd love to see Damage Control get reestablished like that.
I do, but you know who else I love seeing in the ring? Ilya Dragunov, the Mad Dragon,
Jesus
King of the Ring, round 1, match 2, him versus Ricochet. That match absolutely banged.
This match belonged on a pay-per-view, bro. This match was fucking awesome.
It was slept on.
Holy shit!
It was slept on, sadly.
Wow. Ilya and him honestly went all out on this. I mean, maybe not all out, but it was definitely a really cool showcase of Ilya's just moveset, fucking headstrong, just chaotic energy.
He's so good at what he does in the ring. That's why, like, he's in my eyes, he's my Gunther. Like real shit, he's my Gunther.
That's fair. That's honestly fair.
He may not be as big as Gunther, but not have any titles.
We're gonna have a war when those two eventually have a match.
Yes, I'm telling you, my predicted match at WrestleMania didn't happen, so I know they're gonna have a feud at some point in the future.
Oh my gosh, I hope so. It may even happen in the tournament.
That's what I'm saying. I hope they do cross paths. I think if they both won their matches, it would be. I think it'd be next week's Raw is when it happens.
No, it's gonna. Oh yeah, it is gonna be next week.
Because I think it's how the tournament is set up for the Raw side.
Yeah, it is.
But
oh my god, oh my gosh. But yeah, Ilya won this match and it was so good. And now he's gonna face Jey Uso, which I'm so excited for, bro.
I'm also very excited for this. I think Ilya's gonna win it. I don't think Jay's gonna win it. Honestly,
I think Ilya's going on for that because, like you said, I think those two are gonna fight.
You know who they also missed a match on now that I think about it?
Who?
Balor and Dragunov.
Oh my god!
Just imagine.
I never even considered that as a possibility
I
of a
just thought
match
about that.
until
I was
just
just
now.
thinking. I
He's
was
on the
like,
main roster now. That can actually happen. Oh my god! I need it.
dude, it needs to happen.
It needs to happen.
Yeah, I don't know. But you know,
Okay.
something else needs to happen. Ivan Isle needs to start doing something. She can't keep playing this little manager. I lose almost every match I am in now role.
You know
But
what?
we
I
saw
completely agree with you.
Queen of the Ring round 1 match 2, Zoe Stark versus Ivy Nile. I thought this was just basically like just two meatheads kind of going at it. I mean, it wasn't no like powerhouse match, but it was just kind of they were at it. They kept each other up. But Zoe Stark also did the home run symbol for, I think it's the Hartford. It's like a double or triple A team up in Hartford.
Yeah.
For the MLB. I mean, I didn't really have much else for this match. I mean, did you? I know you watched it hours after, but
this is definitely an example of like the card being very match heavy, but some of those matches being very quick and forgetful.
mm-hmm.
I think this one was only like 5 minutes long. This was a pretty quick one. Like they went hard in it, but they were quick on it.
Yeah, I think all the matches had to be at least like 5 minutes, like 5 to 15 minutes long because of just how stacked the card was. Which is why we couldn't see Kofi Kingston versus Rey Mysterio's match, who Kofi did win, and Zelina Vega and Shayna Baszler, who Zelina was replaced by Maxine Dupree. And I had not seen the results from that match. I've been waiting for them to come through, but I had not seen anything.
Yeah.
So I would assume that Shayna won just because it would be a squash match, to be honest.
Right.
But
and then I'll tie more into the Alpha Academy storyline.
Yes. Yeah, basically, I didn't think about that. Now you say that.
Ooh.
That's not a bad idea.
Been thinking.
Yeah, I think we'll see something along those lines of Maxine and Ivan Isle just going on a tear at some point in time. Like I think Maxine should deserve a push, but not a big push, just like a little push, just to get her still like seem legit in the ring.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like she's getting better with time.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, I'd love to see something like that.
I also feel like she's had these movesets this entire time. She's just playing the dumb character and she's like learning. So she's forcing herself to go through all the motions and shit.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
But we did see Truth Adam Pearce backstage, and Truth wants a champion versus champion match against the Yukon Huskies, who, if anyone doesn't know, just beat Purdue in the NCAA National Championship.
Boo.
Yeah, we're Purdue fans here.
Boo.
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 Bro, they were playing that game the other day in the gym when I was in the gym.
Piece of shit. Just rubbing it in our face.
But truth goes, a sport's a sport, and I'm trying. Like, I think we can all agree on this. I don't think Truth understands the difference, but Miz is like, all right, dude, like, let me talk to him. I'll get it right. Don't worry. But we did see Braun Breaker come into the picture with Braun asking why he's on the King of the Ring tournament, and we don't know why yet. They just went to his office. That's all we heard.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of seeing Braun Breaker like that. It makes Braun Breaker come across a little bit complainy, a little bit whiny. But I think Braun Breaker just needs to be presented as somebody who just takes a dude and eats his head, and then throws the body into the stands and walks away.
Dude's insane.
Like he needs to be like his uncle Scott Steiner. He should have walked up and be like, "I am parents, let me talk to you. Why am I not anything about?" Just yelling at him, doing Steiner math on him, bro. I swear to God.
Steiner math. Speaking of Braun Breaker, with the third Braun on Raw.
So many Brauns.
We saw 3 Brauns this week. Bronson Reed versus Chad Gable.
We need a triple threat.
And I think this could be seeing a triple threat in the future. This was actually announced. This is a triple threat at King of the Ring. I forgot.
Dude.
So again, it was DQ just like last week, but instead of Chad Gable, Chad Gable can't get involved. It was Sammy getting involved, and Gable hit a deadlift German suplex on
Dude,
Bronson Reed.
this was fucking nuts. In the middle of this match, I want y'all to realize Gable is a strong dude. But Bronson is fucking big.
And he's
the
also
way he
small.
grabbed him. Bronson didn't jump.
Gable.
Bronson didn't do nothing. Bronson just stood there, and Gable straight up suplexed him for real. It was insane.
But again,
damn. That's why he's an Olympic athlete.
Oh, God. We saw Bronson leave the ring again, though.
Yeah, we saw him leave everyone laying.
I think this might be hinting at his win at King of the Ring.
I
think we could see him win, but I don't know how confident I feel with that answer.
I thought about the idea of maybe Sammy and Gable get too focused on fighting each other, and that distracts them from the greater threat of Bronson Reed, and that lets him walk out with the title.
Right.
Thoughts on that?
I don't disagree, but I think at some point in the match we will see them both try to work on Bronson Reed and beat him down. Mm-hmm. Because I mean, Chad did help Sammy during WrestleMania. Sammy was like, "All right, I'll pay the favor just a little bit by helping you beat him down because my title's on the line against you as well, and I got to beat you down too." So,
yeah, right.
I don't know. I'm excited for King and Queen of the Ring. I'm really excited to see what matches we have. The main event match, I'm excited to talk about once we get to it.
My gosh, bro, that blew my mind. But yeah, we'll get to it.
With the other champion
Speaking of a world champion.
Speaking of a world champion, Becky Lynch and Michael Cole had an interview, and basically is shouting out all these women stars, including Lyra Valkyria, Isla Dawn, and a few others. But she again gets interrupted by Liv and is basically saying that, yeah, Ryan, you put, she's that bitch and deserves her title match.
That bitch.
Which Becky would accept at Queen and the King of the Ring, saying after everything Liv has done, she has never actually beat Becky herself. But Damage Control interrupted to go and play the numbers game, but didn't happen. It actually, I don't know if it happened. I don't remember.
Yeah, they do.
Back to Raw. It's been a rough week.
Yeah, they did.
But Liv ditched Becky, laughing, saying it's not my problem, and Lyra made the save and would fight off Damage Control. I forget. Yeah. So yeah, that was, which would also lead us into our next match. But I do like the fact that Lyra did come in. I think we see something with Lyra and Becky in the future. So I think we might see Becky actually beat Liv at Queen and the King of the Ring.
Really?
You think and basically I know it's early.
Really?
It's early. Listen. This is wild take. I know it's early and Lyra's main roster.
Let me talk to you. Yeah.
Let me talk to you. Yeah. But she might give, or Becky might give her a world title shot, but Becky's obviously going to beat her.
Man, I can see that.
I don't know. That's just a wild take. I would love to have Liv win at Queen and King of the Ring, because now she can flaunt around the title for 2 months. And my prediction is Mommy comes back at SummerSlam.
Bro, I'm gonna pop so fucking hard when Rio's music finally hits again. Oh my god, I'm more excited for Rhea to come back than I am for Roman.
Yeah, I even think Roman's coming back too. I think we'll get back into that during SmackDown, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, we will. But we saw Lyra and Dakota Kai in Queen of the Ring round 1, match 3. Winner was Lyra. I think we all saw that. I don't think Dakota Kai would go very far, to be honest. I don't think they would do something with Damage Control in there as well, because they're already doing something with they're doing something. I think there's one stable in the tournament. Oh yeah, it's Bianca and Jade, and they both won their matches on SmackDown. But I don't think they're gonna go too deep in that, but only with just the two I mentioned. So winner being Lyra. Lyra, she did what she did. I mean, Dakota Kai did stomp the fuck out of her back.
Right.
During the match, I thought was kind of a crazy move, but I mean, it's wrestling, whatever.
Dude, it was, yeah. This was a pretty fun match. I liked it. Everyone, I think, sleeps on Dakota Kai. But even I'll admit that I've slept on Dakota Kai in ring. In the ring, Dakota Kai is really good, and so is Lyra Valkyria, and they both showed it off real good here. I just wish that again, that's not a word. This fell victim to just the card being so match heavy and being so tight on time, especially with this being right before the main event. So of course they were pushed for time because that needed all the time that they could give it.
Oh my god! And the main event was awesome with
Oh,
it being the last
yeah.
round one televised match for King of the Ring on the Raw side. Gunther versus Sheamus. Gunther just absolutely beat the hell out of Sheamus. I mean, they
Bro,
beat the
his
hell out of each other, to be honest.
chest.
Absolutely murdered
Sheamus's
each other.
chest within the first like 5 minutes was red and bloody.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened, but I could not, dude. That would just hurt.
Sheamus is a legend. Dude, this was an insane match. I fucking loved it.
Oh hell yeah, dude. And
Definitely, Sheamus. I think this is probably, unfortunately, what Sheamus said. This will probably be the last match between the two of them because he doesn't want to do a round 4, but I would do a round 4,
I
and
would
then
do it
Sheamus
for.
should get his win in this
Sheamus should get the get
rivalry.
back.
Yeah, but something I want to ask you though is we saw Ludwig Kaiser get involved and injure Sheamus's knee, and that kind of played a big role in Gunther winning this match. I'm personally not a big fan of that. Gunther's been presented as like this unstoppable force, like the next final boss of WWE, and for the most part, he hasn't had to rely on outside help to win his matches. And I really don't think that now that he doesn't have the title, we should start falling back onto that.
I think it was a good idea for the fact of now Giovanni Vinci's out. You can kind of push his more healed team between Gunther and Kaiser themselves.
Okay.
But other than, I think again with him being you so-called the next final boss, I don't think it's a good idea. But I mean, look, the final boss always has help. I mean, look at The Rock.
Yeah, we saw Roman
Look at The Rock.
plenty of help. We saw The Rock have help.
Yeah, so why not?
That is fair, but it like a different type of final boss. But
make Gunther the true final boss because he is
like
the
Brock
ring
Lesnar type
general.
final boss. Brock Lesnar type final boss.
Yes.
You know, the Beast doesn't need no help because the Beast is the Beast.
Yeah,
the Ring
incarnate.
General is the Ring General.
The Ring General.
The Ring General.
Yeah, I mean that's all I really had for
Is that
Raw.
all you got for Raw?
Yeah. I liked Raw, to be honest. Like you said, it was match heavy, but let's get
it was a really good episode though. It was match heavy, and like some of the matches should have been given more time. Or I think so. I think Ray and Kofi should have been on TV. I think you said it was Zelina and Shayna.
It was supposed to be Zelina and Shayna, but it was actually why am I blanking? Oh, Maxine Dupree versus Shayna.
Yeah, I think both of those matches should have been on TV, but I understand that there's not room for everybody on the card. But
which is honestly the downfall of this.
Yeah, that is the downfall of this. But overall, I agree. This was a really good. I thought it was just a really good episode of Raw.
Mm-hmm.
We're ready to move on to Smackdown.
Yes.
We open the show with Nick Aldis, surprisingly, given the history between him and Cody Rhodes, announced the undisputed Universal Champion, Cody Rhodes, and bring him to the ring. Dude, once he got to the ring, he congratulates Cody for his win at Backlash, for his amazing performance, brings up the King and Queen of the Ring tournament, and then drops an absolute bombshell on everyone by saying that he's already got Cody's next challenger picked out. And personally, I was sitting there like, man, is he going to have a rematch with AJ? Is it going to be LA Knight? Yeah. Who's it going to be? And then Logan freaking Paul's music hits, and the United States champion comes out to face off with Cody Rhodes. And the WWE champion and US champion stand face to face in the ring, and presumably it'll be title versus title. But these two start cutting a promo on each other where Logan Paul drops the line of, "It's the Logan Paul Levesque era," which I thought that was a pretty smooth line. Cannot lie. Liked it a bit.
I was kind of interested in that. I didn't know how I felt about it, to be honest.
I mean, it was cringy as fuck, and it definitely deserved him getting heel heat. But I thought it was just a clever line for him to get booed for, which he did. He was showered with Logan sucks chants, bro. Everyone started yelling, Prime sucked. Prime sucked. Logan said to Cody that he thinks that WrestleMania was his moment.
Yeah, I thought that
And
was. I was like, dude, are you serious right now? Like, are we
I
being
know,
for
right?
real?
That was insane. Are you sure about that? Saying that everyone was talking about Prime and not talking about Cody Rhodes, which obviously was cap. Saying that everyone was talking about I Show Speed and the U.S. title match. Like, no, they weren't.
Bro, I was all over Twitter that weekend. No, they were not.
Bro, obviously not. Says that him and Cody Rhodes debuted and were at the same WrestleMania, which is half true. Cody Rhodes returned at WrestleMania
Yeah,
38, which was Logan Paul's official debut. But then Cody Rhodes just looks at this clown and he goes, "What a dumbass!"
I seen on Twitter that or X, whatever you want to call it. I don't even care anymore.
I don't even care.
But I saw somebody go, "That's a new wrestling meme," and they only had the words "What a dumbass." I was like,
What
"This
a
is gold."
dumbass! Start sending that to people.
That's what I'm saying.
But Cody Rhodes just starts laying into him a little bit. He doesn't go too hard on him, but he brings up the fact that if he does win Logan Paul's United States Championship, that makes him a Grand Slam champion in WWE. He brings up the fact that Logan Paul hasn't been able to win a match without brass and knucks, and then afterwards they both hold up their titles looking at each other, and obviously hold them up to the hard cam as they're both just staring at each other, and presumably it'll be title v title because Cody tweeted out afterwards, quote unquote, 2 titles and for all the gold. WWE even posted the graphic already for both the champions holding their belts.
And I think they did retweet Cody saying 2 titles or for all the gold, which is making me think: is it going to be a winner takes all?
I think it will be. I would love for it to be a winner take all.
I would too, but here's the downfall. Now you're looking at 2 downfalls here. But if Cody wins the U.S. title and keeps his title, now you're pushing Cody as this new Ultimate Champion, or or what you could do is push him as like what not as the same character as Seth Rollins back when he was a double champion, but kind of push him as like that Seth Rollins character, but not in a heel way. He like you kind of portray him in the babyface way because he doesn't know if he can turn heel just yet. But I wouldn't be upset if he turned heel. I would just have to be in a weird way to do it. I think you'd have to do that honestly with Randy Orton because Randy right now is just popping being the babyface right now against the Bloodline with Kevin Owens. I mean,
That'd be interesting to see Cody Rhodes turn heel on Randy.
yeah, because Randy, and I don't know, man.
That'd be pretty
I don't
interesting.
know.
I'd love to see at the end of all this Cody Rhodes hold up both the titles because in the end of it all, I think that opens the door for Cody to lose the WWE title, which sounds kind of weird to say that that's like a good thing that I want Cody Rhodes to lose the WWE title like right away now, but it does because now say Gunther wins King of the Ring and Gunther immediately says, Cody, I want your WWE title and fucking smashes the dude for it. Cody Rhodes obviously falls a little bit, but now he holds the US title. And then after that,
He falls all the way down to the worst singles
yeah.
title.
Well, we're cooking with this. We're cooking with
Okay.
this. So Cody Rhodes falls all the way down to the U.S. title scene, and that is where you start to initiate the heel turn as an ungrateful, whiny, complaining, like bitchy Cody Rhodes now is upset that he fell from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows.
Yeah, the title scene. Okay.
That's an idea for it.
Okay.
Because we kind of saw something like that happen in AEW where he never fully turned heel while he held the TNT title and always held the TNT title and shit like that.
Right.
But
That's
that
interesting.
you got anything else to add on to Cody Rhodes and Logan Paul's bombshell of a match that's happening now?
No, but his opponent at Backlash was bitching about it backstage.
AJ Styles backstage goes up to Nick Aldis and goes, "It should be me. It should be me." He looks at the camera and says, "Next time we meet, I'll beat you," presumably talking to Cody Rhodes. And then goes on to say that winning the King of the Ring tournament is a phenomenal step in the right direction.
I like that.
Which his match later on against Randy Orton is set to be the main event. I thought it was phenomenal indeed.
It was a very good match. I liked it.
But this moves us into the Queen of the Ring round 1, match 1 on SmackDown. Naomi versus Nia Jax. And this match got me worried. Because Naomi lost to Nia Jax, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I see you got the Uncle Howdy QR code. I don't remember exactly when that happened. Do you remember when that happened in this?
It was like towards the beginning of the match.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly. I remember seeing it. I can't remember exactly when I saw it.
It was towards the beginning of the match. But this, yeah, I agree because this could destroy Naomi's credibility. Now, this is exactly what, like you said last episode, we don't want to see with her because this is the exact reason why she left.
Yeah, exactly. Like she just took the pin at Backlash, and now she just. I mean, she didn't get squashed by Nia Jax. Like she put up a good fight against her, but she still lost to the Annihilator, and I'm just not exactly happy with what they're doing with Naomi. Like, hopefully they can turn it around, but as of right now, I'm not exactly impressed.
Well, we'll see. We'll hopefully see a segment with her next week because the matches for Queen and King of the Ring are going to be dwindled down.
Right. I mean, I'm not impressed by what they're doing with Naomi. I am impressed by what they're doing with Nia Jax and with Carmelo Hayes backstage. He had a segment with
don't
Baron
miss.
Corbin because this man just don't miss. When he's talking backstage, he don't miss. When he steps in the
He's
ring,
him.
he don't miss. He's him. But he did have a backstage segment with Baron Corbin, newly called up to the front, back up to the main roster, Baron Corbin. And they just had a little bit of a back and forth backstage about their match that they're about to have coming up, where Baron Corbin called back a little bit to his past like runs on the main roster where he was sad and happy and a constable and all of this other shit.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish that he was still teamed up with Braun Breaker, I'm not gonna lie.
Braun Breaker!
Breaker!
Stud.
I wish, bro. But this moves us into the King of the Ring round 1 match between Carmelo Hayes and Baron Corbin. And it's like we already said, ladies and gentlemen, Melo don't miss.
Melo don't miss.
But it should be noted, Baron Corbin looks a hell of a lot better than he did when he left the main roster.
After his run in NXT, especially with the Wolf Dogs, that was it was so good for him. And he's done so much better. I'm excited to see what they do with him. I've never been a fan of Baron Corbin as a wrestler, but his character work's not bad.
He commits to his characters. I like it.
I can't complain about the characters. I'm just going to complain about the match, just how he is as a wrestler. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of him, but I'm not going to say I hate him. I'm not going to say I hate the guy because I do like his other forms of work in the company.
Agreed. He's a little bit boring in between the ropes, but when he's got somebody like him, Carmelo Hayes, he looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Someone else who looked pretty good was Bayley backstage talking. I can't remember who she was talking to. I'm not gonna lie, but she goes on to say how interested she is to see how far Jade goes in the Queen of the Ring tournament. When all of a sudden, Chelsea Green,
which I'm so upset they don't do her name anymore.
I love it. And Piper Niven interfere, and they just have a little bit of a back and forth where Chelsea hypes up Piper Niven to potentially win Queen of the Ring tournament, which holy shit, we'll get into that in a second. And as they walk away, Niven stares at Bayley's championship, which this could potentially be a title feud. I'm thinking maybe Chelsea Green versus Bayley. I think I'd actually be a little bit more interested in.
Actually, seeing Chelsea, I was just reading something earlier before this that Chelsea Green should face Bayley for the championship because it'll also help her get out of this comedic like character that she's been going on with.
Yeah, give her some credibility, honestly.
Yeah.
But you know who doesn't need credibility?
Jade motherfucking
Cargill. Especially after this match, y'all. Like, I'm done. Like, anyone who says Jade is like needs to work on her selling and needs to work on her offense, I think she's figured it out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to give her the right dance partner, especially with Piper Niven in this next match, bro. Because, like you have written down here, this was undeniable. This was fucking awesome.
She actually said that into the camera.
Yeah,
that's where I got it from.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
She is undeniable. I can't disagree with that. But dude, this I am such a simple person. I like the most simple forms of wrestling and entertainment. Like, you can give me either a 45-minute classic and I'll be happy, or you can give me this and I'll be really, really happy. This was just like, what did it go? Like 7, 8 minutes maybe of these
Yeah,
two just doing power moves on each other, and that was all. And then Jade gets the Jade. She actually hit the Jaded on her.
that was awesome. It was a good match, honestly. Um, like I said, it was undeniable, dude. She was a star. She's been doing very good, but I'm not gonna like hop on that train just yet because she still is kind of green on the WWE side of the roster instead of now since signing from AEW or something like that. I don't remember what it was.
Right, right. But then afterwards in the match, we saw her tag team partner, Bianca Belair, come out to celebrate with her. And
Mm-hmm.
those two just had, a little bit of a dance party on the stage, whatever. Then we
Yeah.
cut backstage to Randy Orton, who in a backstage segment says that he's the one thing that he hasn't accomplished is winning the King of the Ring tournament. His entire career is the only thing he hasn't done. And he says that it feels phenomenal when he hits AJ Styles with an RKO from out of nowhere. Brings up Backlash and how Tama Tonga and him will cross paths again in the tournament, and also talks about how Tama took out Kevin Owens. So presumably we're not going to see Kevin Owens on screen for a little bit because he did mention that Tama Tonga took him out. So maybe we see Kevin Owens written off for a little bit and Randy go on a bit of a revenge tour.
For Kevin,
Yeah, for Kevin against the Bloodline maybe. Because those
how about
two,
it?
as of right now, it seems, looking at the brackets, they're set to cross paths on the SmackDown side of it. And
Mm-hmm.
Randy's gonna make sure that they see that RKO coming, bro. He's gonna rest assured.
He said, "I'm gonna make sure your ass sees it coming."
Damn straight.
He was pissed.
He's pissed, bro. But yeah, I'd love to see Randy Orton go on some kind of a revenge tour against this new bloodline, against Tama, against Tonga, and against Solo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get those names so confused. But this moves us forward into Bianca Belair versus Candice LeRae with Indy Hartwell by her side. This was a pretty good match. I'm not gonna lie. I told a pretty good story here with Bianca Belair hurting her knee pretty early on in the match, and Candice LeRae, of course, being this new heel character, targeted that sucker like
Of course,
nonstop and like
I
tore that
seen
thing apart.
I seen something on like X. I think that this discredited Candice LeRae. I think it's because she didn't get an entrance. I think that's what they're talking about. But I mean, they need to do. I
Yeah,
seen something that they need to do something with Candice because they can't just keep putting her in these matches. Like she needs to do something.
yeah, I agree. She needs to get like some wins under her belt because I think I mentioned it in the last episode. I'm a big fan of Candice LeRae.
Yeah.
And I think she can go places if they just start packing some wins behind her and give her a good story to run with.
She plays her Poison Pixie character so good.
Oh yeah, I agree with that there.
It is so what we just like I said, phenomenal. But
Phenomenal.
we did see another phenomenal star on screen, but it was on a video.
Bro,
Shinsuke Nakamura, dude.
Shinsuke Nakamura. I'm not gonna lie. I fast forwarded through this.
Okay,
But
so
it was essentially him saying that he is the master of strong style and he plans to reign supreme.
essentially, but what I kind of pulled from that when I wrote this was that he, um, those were like the master song style and plans to reign supreme were like the letters that were there. So now looking at it, kind of makes me think. I mean, the WWE Championship has red on it, which is the WWE symbol, like below, and then it's gold. The plate itself, it's gold. So like another kind of hint at him going at some gold or something, or I mean, it's just a wild, wacky idea, but I mean,
Well, potentially. Maybe. Red, gold, he's gonna become Hulk Hogan.
down, down, down,
Down,
down,
down,
down,
down,
down, down.
down. You start
Awesome, dude.
dropping the leg, bro. Oh man. But after this brings us to the Bloodline backstage, sitting in what is presumably their locker room, where Solo is standing there and Heyman comes up and he goes, "You understand? I'm Roman's wise man, right? Like you're doing shit that like ain't okay. Like you're not like following the outline. You're not following the plan. You're not doing what the tribal chief says." Which Solo says, "I'm not doing what the tribal chief says. Aren't you the one that pulled Roman from the draft without him saying so? Or without him saying anything, without talking to him?" And then he brings up the fact that Heyman nodded at Jay at Backlash, saying,
Right.
"Paul, are you sending signals to people? Are you like going against us right now? Like, what's
Mhm.
going on here? Are you trying to take money out of my pocket? Are you trying to take food off of my kids' plates?" Like really going after Paul here. And then he drops a bombshell on him and he goes, "You know what, Paul? You may not have talked to Roman, but I have." And he says that I'm in charge until he gets back. And he says, "Now you listen to me." And then he pulls him close and he goes, "I love you, wise man. I love you." And then
Love you, wise man.
Tama and Tonga, Tama and Tonga come in behind him, and this was just like this reminded me of like a scene out of The Sopranos or something, where like they're secretly about to kill this man. Like I could see potentially like this being like the outline of Roman's return, where like these three, potentially four if Jacob Fatu ever shows up, are like about to kill Paul Heyman with like a chair shot or something. When you hear do 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 dee, do, do,
It's
and the
Roman's music
tribal
playing.
chief comes out.
Damn. Oh,
I
I
can
like
see
that,
something like that
honestly.
potentially happening.
I
But
do
of
like
course,
that.
right after this, we go right into another King of the Ring match. It was Angelo Dawkins. He was substituted into this match for Bobby Lashley. Like we said earlier, he was injured after tumbling out of the ring again. Damn it,
Yeah.
Bobby.
God damn it,
God
Bobby.
damn it, Bobby. But it was Angelo Dawkins, accompanied by the rest of the Pride, Montez Ford and B-Fab. He was fighting Tama Tonga, accompanied by the rest of the Bloodline, Solo, Tonga, and Paul Heyman.
My name is Paul Heyman.
But I had an interesting thought after this match happened, because we did see um, Montez attack Solo and Tonga during the match, and they all spilled into a big fight. And then after the match, the Bloodline left them all laying. Um, could this have potentially, with if Bobby Lashley was still part of this group, could this have potentially led into a 3v3 feud, the Pride versus the Bloodline? Or this, I mean, hell, this still could lead into a feud between the two groups.
Honestly, yeah. I think it'll be like how we've seen tag teams like square up against other ones. Like I think it'll be like Bobby scoring off with Solo, Montez with Tama, and Angelo with Tonga.
Or yeah, the Street Profits versus the Gorillas of Destiny. That'd be awesome,
Yeah.
dude.
And then when you finally do a 3v3 match, and that's when you have that standoff, and then that's when everything goes crazy.
Right. And that's when they bring out Omos. And then that's when
Yeah.
they bring out Jacob Fatu.
That'd
That
be crazy.
would be insane, bro.
How big is that thing?
How big is that thing? Oh my god! Oh man.
That was
But after this, we moved into a set of hype promo videos for Andrade, and then after Andrade, Blair Davenport.
I actually skipped through these because I didn't realize I was actually behind when I was watching the live stream. So I actually caught up to the live stream itself. So I actually missed both of these.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't too much. It's just two stars hyping each other up. I think Blair Davenport is set to be a big star at some point. And
Yep.
Andrade, dude, I already love Andrade. I'm a big fan of him.
Andrade El Idolo.
Andrade. But this leads us into the main event, the final King of the Ring match televised on this show: AJ Styles versus Randy Orton. And again, what can you expect? It's AJ Styles versus Randy Orton. It was a great match.
Of course. Of course.
to
You
have
can't not have a great match against these two.
No, these two have great chemistry
Chemistry.
together, bro. But a little bit of a nitpick on my end. This is just me being like, like being bitchy about shit. Randy was selling his knee throughout this entire match as well. We saw this with Bianca Belair though during her match, and I think it's a really cool story to sell an injury throughout a tournament. Like, say Bianca or Randy go on to the finals and they're selling this injury the entire time. I think that could tell a really cool story. I just wish Randy was like selling something other than his knee so we aren't getting two
Having his
knee
back,
injuries during this
dude.
tournament. Yeah, like he's got a back. Like, why not sell the back throughout the entire
I mean,
tournament?
he's already got a bad back. Why not just keep selling it?
I know, right? But I mean, that's not a big deal, honestly. Like
Yeah,
that's just me. But all in all, this was a really cool match and a really fun one.
of course. You also put it's Tiffy time and LA Night. Yeah, having their qualifying matches on house shows.
Oh yeah,
Seen that?
bro. These two future, two current mega stars, especially with LA Knight
Yeah,
on the roster right. Yeah, on the roster right now. Like this blew my mind that these two had their matches on house shows. Blew my mind.
yeah. It's that's something that hurt. I think it's gonna hurt their credibility just a little bit. But again, like I was saying during Raw, this is happening with Hunter overbooking or Paul. My bad, Paul overbooking on his shows when he knows he also has to cut the promos and the matches at the same time.
Right.
So I mean, this
I
sucks,
mean,
but I think it'll help them in the long run.
yeah. I don't think it'll be too big of a deal, especially since I mean, both the people that I mentioned, Tiffany Stratton and LA Knight, did win their qualifying matches, which leads us to, I think, Tiffany Stratton versus Bianca Belair next.
That'd be
Jade
good.
Cargill versus Nia Jax on the women's side. And then I can't exactly remember the SmackDown men's side.
I think it's
I think it's Carmelo Hayes versus Randy Orton next.
maybe.
And then Tama
Oh
Tonga
damn,
versus,
LA Knight,
yeah.
bro, that would suck.
Yeah,
Because
Tama's
for
going to eat
Randy
him.
Orton, yeah, Thomas gonna eat him, but Randy Orton versus Mello, you can either kind of still not just push Mello yet, and you keep Randy Orton going, or you let Randy, take it and he have Mello go instead.
Yeah, either way, I think it's going to be a great chance for Melo to work with someone like Randy Orton. I think it'll be a
Mm-hmm.
huge showcase for the guy,
But
whether he
like we
wins or
said earlier,
loses.
this will make them cross path or make Randy and Tama Tonga cross paths again, which now Tama and Randy or Randy can get back on Tama for injuring Kevin because him and Kevin are good friends.
Right. This could lead exactly to that. But I'm really interested in the women's side of the bracket. Jade Cargill, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton versus Bianca Belair.
Right.
Are the women's tag team champions going to face each other
It's possible. That's what I'm saying.
already?
It's possible because
Like, because Jade Cargill, like, how do you have Jade Cargill lose a match already? Like,
who's
first
she
of all,
fighting again?
Nia Jax.
Okay, and then
First of
who's
all, that's
Bianca
low
fighting?
key a dream match right now for me at
Honestly,
least. I'm really excited for that. I was hoping that happened at like WrestleMania, but Tiffany Stratton versus Bianca Belair.
I think we'll have Tiffany beat Bianca.
You think because of that
Honestly,
knee
it's
injury
kind of
that
a
she's
hot
selling?
take. Not even that, just to kind of push Tiffany to have a match in the Queen of the Ring
Well,
tournament on TV, and to kind of help push her more as her credibility of it's always Tiffy time.
well, yeah, but I'm saying like as in like she'll win the match by using the knee injury.
I
'Cause,
don't
like
know.
maybe that's what
I
they're
don't think.
setting up here because
Oh,
she's
maybe.
limping
Now that
and
you think
not
about it.
able to. We were just talking about how
Yeah.
injuries can be used to tell stories throughout tournaments. It's a time and tested method. Brett did it and his King of the Ring tournament. Everyone's done it in King of the Ring tournaments.
It's King
So
of the Ring
Bianca,
tournament. You always got to sell an injury, man. Come on now.
I mean, it's a tournament. Yeah, it's a pretty good story. I mean, it's a good story to tell for a tournament. It makes sense.
Yes, it
But
does. I do agree.
yeah, I could see that being the downfall of Bianca Belair in the next round as she falls to Tiffany Stratton. And then we get Tiffy time versus
It's
Jade
Tiffy
Cargill,
time. I think
which
we have Jade
I
Cargill
have
winning this
Jade
entire
going.
thing,
I
dude.
have Jade going all the way.
I think we have
Jade
Jade winning
Cargill
this.
going all the way and Gunther going all the way on the men's side. That's a pairing right there.
That is a pairing. Holy shit.
Holy shit, that's a pair of winners.
Man, I'm excited for this tournament to see what happens in the end. And the King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring at Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. I think it's at like 1 o'clock our time, Eastern. I think 12
Yeah, it's a good time for us early
Central.
afternoon.
I'm excited to see this as I think Saudi shows have gotten a lot better these past few years, so I think we'll see something absolutely they just hit it off.
Oh yeah, I agree. Especially since uh Triple H took over for Vince.
I mean, even speaking about Saudi, and someone that could be appearing at Saudi, like we were talking about the audio files yesterday, Bo Dallas and
Uncle Howdy himself.
Uncle Howdy, or as Uncle Howdy himself. I mean,
We
did
could
you
see
see
it
anything I
happen.
sent you?
I've seen a lot of the things that you've sent me. We've had a lot of the things happen with Uncle
So
Howdy.
the
Unfortunately,
text,
he didn't show up at Backlash.
yeah, unfortunately, I was still upset about that. But um, he the video, the text in the video said, "Drink from his suffering. Even now you doubt us, but soon you will understand that all we ever wanted was a chance." And it started out in this like abandoned library or whatever, but then it cut from "Drink from his suffering" to "Six birds in the sky." And as even now you doubt us. And then I think it was like a set of doors after this. And then, but soon we saw somebody in a kitchen. But then if you slowly cut to the next frame, we saw a hand over someone's head, which is a hand like it's someone, but you don't know who it is.
Right.
I mean, you understand. Oh, everyone was a chance. Bunch of underscores get added, and then it goes to like everything's across the screen again, like it has been for the past few weeks on some of the texts. But then a Nightbird outline pops up, but if you caught it just fast enough, you looked like the bottom right of the outline, you saw X dash XX, not X, V dash XXV. It was seen again, and I think this is another hint that we're gonna see them in Saudi, or I think it's still kind of pushing against the fact of Uncle Howdy is Bo Dallas, so we're making this known now.
Right.
And then it cut to the library again, but we saw like a little something. If you looked at the bottom left in the hallway, going like the way, you saw something move, and it was like a coat came out super fast and ran towards the camera. It was a black coat. I think people are speculating that it's Uncle Howdy, which I could see it honestly.
Uncle
But
Howdy.
if you scrolled all the way down, there's a Nightbird logo, and it gave us a fill in the blank, and the corresponding numbers, like one of those things. And it was, you know nothing. Hell is only a word. Reality is much, much worse. Which now I'm kind of scared because I want. They have to pull, like they have to do something huge.
Yeah,
If
gotta
they
be
don't,
something
it's gonna
huge.
flop so hard.
They're hyping up something big here.
But hidden in the file was this like little like text or whatever. It was blank searched for a friend. Blank found none. Blank stared into the abyss, hoping someone would glance back. And still no one cared about blank. He led blank out of darkness, but let blank keep a little darkness inside. And I was watching C Wrestling UK's video, and he's thinking that the three, because it's three asterisks, and you're thinking it could be Joe Gacy because Joe is three letters. So Joe searched for a friend. Joe found none. Joe stared in the abyss, hoping someone would glance back, and still no one cared about Joe. He led Joe out of darkness, but let Joe keep a little darkness inside.
That'd be interesting. That makes sense, definitely, with the three dashes.
That's probably the only thing I've seen from that. I haven't really seen much from it, but Dexter Loomis did change his location to the question mark, which they on the same video I was watching, it said like Joe Gacy's like tweeting, like he's been tweeting, "Where am I?" I think this is going to tie into a little bit more of it with that because like Dexter Loomis has not changed his location, and Joe Gacy doesn't know where he's at.
Right. I feel you. That makes sense. They're tied together like that.
Years and a Metonic cycle was the hidden words that we've been seeing. But a Metonic cycle is at the time of so this is at the time of Raw when this happened. So this is all happening on Raw. There's 19 years in a Metonic cycle. Yeah. But there at the time of recording of Raw, it was 19 days till King and Queen of the Ring. But it was also 19 years ago. This was just a huge. So this is just something for SmackDown, just kind of a throwaway idea, I think. But 19 years ago, at the recording of Raw, Monday Night Raw was in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Friday Night SmackDown was in Wilkes-Barre, I think it's Barre Bar, Pennsylvania. And somebody was thinking about an Uncle Howdy debut there, but I'm still sticking with King and Queen of the Ring, to be honest. because afterwards we lead into SmackDown. The hidden text kind of helps me push for that. But there's a link in the source code that led to an episode of link to a source code that led to an Inside the Ropes article saying that Bo Dallas is not expected to be back on WWE TV. And
Right, but that's inside the source code.
Yeah, the name of the video was derisive, which also means ridicule. That Uncle Howdy's basically ridiculing us now for being upset that he didn't show up at Backlash. But there was also a 2023, February 26, 2003, something. It was something with the date that was seen in the video. But it was the day that Nikki Cross was seen behind Dexter Lumis, who was next to Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae. And when Dexter Lumis handed Candice and Gargano the picture, it was a drawing of Gargano and Candice with Nikki Cross right behind him, and Nikki Cross is sitting right there.
What the heck?
So I thought that was pretty interesting, kind of, pull back into the past. But the last thing I found pretty interesting with everything from before SmackDown, Liv Morgan tweeted out the sheep emoji, but if you zoomed in to her glasses, it looked like Uncle Howdy's mask, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Which I thought was pretty interesting. I don't know. Did we see Liv Morgan be a part of this somehow?
Bro, who knows?
I mean, her character right now would kind of tie in with it. That would be like how Alexa Bliss was kind of Bray Wyatt's like princess, you so call it. You can have Liv Morgan be Uncle Howdy's. Now that I even think about that.
I mean, maybe. Or she can just fool around with Dom.
I forgot about Dom. Dom. Mommy, get your mans.
Mommy, get your mans under control.
But we had the QR code for SmackDown would take you to WWE.com, but the video glitched out. And again, this was during Nia Jax and Naomi's match. But it was glitched out. It was the intro. It was glitched out. The opening scene, if you looked very closly, because I talked to you about this to you yesterday. You had to go back like 3 or 4 times to go look.
Yeah.
Punk was actually replaced by Sister Abigail, which we have been thinking is Alexa Bliss. But
yeah.
Question, why take out Punk? Could it be a potential first target? Or could this be calling back to Bray Wyatt's NXT days as Husky Harris?
I have no idea, but I think this could relate to them potentially going after CM Punk. I think at one point the Wyatt family fought CM Punk before CM Punk left the company. Mm-hmm. I might be remembering wrong. Obviously, I could be. But
next to the veiled nun was or Abigail, it was Orton and Rollins, who are actually Bray's former rivals. And Orton actually did burn down the Wyatt compound back in it was like 2018, I think, whatever it was. 2019 maybe.
Something like
but
that.
They were Bray's former rivals, like I was saying. And a former rival of Alexa Bliss was also, and the last opponent of Alexa Bliss was Bianca Belair, who was right above, or who's right below the veiled nun.
Right.
But I think my favorite part about this entire thing was the URL, because I got it literally within like a minute. The URL was /RRNBHPAW. Now, when you hear RR, you think Royal Rumble. MB, you can kind of see Money in the Bank, but HP, you don't have an answer for. So, think back to the Firefly Funhouse. Ramblin' Rabbit for RR, Mercy the Buzzard for NB, Huskus the Pig for HP, and Abby the Witch for AW. I got that within like a minute. I was like, oh shit, I know this. I've been seeing a lot of stuff with them here lately. I just been watching videos that call back to Bray's days, or like old Fireflies Funhouse videos to see if I can't find anything in there. But the hidden text above it was "Sorrow prepares you for joy," which again I think calls back to Backlash, because people were upset that that Uncle Howdy didn't show up.
Right.
Which I think this will again kind of push for King and Queen of the Ring, with it being the VXXV being shown. And then we've seen the Years of Metonic Cycle. I think it's all play into something. But the text in the video was, if you watch how it always goes, then, now, for like, it was like something is like together, whatever. The
Yeah.
together is like super emphasized. And
Together.
the text in the video was, they put us in a cave, told us to behold the glory. We watched in awe, consumed their lies. We were never the chosen ones, left in a cave to rot, to be forgotten, but he set us free. Now we understand, we follow the prophecy, the words of red, which turned the color red. Soon you will understand, the tears we shed watered our antipathy, which is actually means strong feeling of dislike, and blossomed a garden of revulsion. There is no safe place, only my family.
What
And
the heck?
I tried to look at the words that were all over the screen throughout that all, and they, glory, lies, never, to rot, forgotten, and my family were all across the screen. So I was thinking, okay, maybe like people they're bringing in, maybe the people who are the new Y6, because to rot, Taylor Rotunda. I'm not saying two is like start of Taylor, but the first two letters of each word is what I was trying to figure out, and I couldn't find anything except for Taylor Rotunda. But like I was calling back to how the words of red, the word red changed to red. Bray this called back. I think this is a callback to where Bray said, "I am the color red in a world full of black and white."
Fire line, by the way.
Fireline. Bray was just a creative genius.
Dude, I went back like 2 days ago and I watched the video package for him and John Cena's WrestleMania 30 match that's set to Eminem's Legacy. And holy shit, bro, that might be one of my favorite video packages of all time.
Dude, I
Let's sleep
mean,
on that one. That's a good one.
yeah, 5 years ago though, on Raw would be the 5th anniversary of the debut of the Fiend character. I think that's something to kind of point out as well. But I don't really know where you could. I don't really think you do it at Raw. I still think you
Nah,
do it
definitely not.
at.
Save it for King of the Ring.
Yeah, that's what I'm
King
saying.
and
I mean,
Queen
it's
of
just
the
how to
Ring.
say like what huge. You can put a bigger pop on it. I still feel like France would have been better because that had that entire building shaking.
France would have been insane.
But again, I still think we still do it as a similar way to how Bray Wyatt did it when he debuted back after literally right at the after the main event of Extreme Rules in like 2021 or something like that, 2022.
I think it's 22.
I think you do something with that, but I think you do, like I said, do some of that. But I'm just saying, I think it would just be a great way to kind of still portray Bray, but it's still being its own thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because I think everybody will have a mask. To be honest, I think it's gonna be similar again to the original White Six, but instead we'll see not Braun Strowman. We'll see Eric Rowan in his mask. We'll see Uncle Howdy in his mask. We'll see. I don't think Nikki Cross is gonna be a mask. Dexter Lumis I see in a mask, and Joe Gacy I see in a mask. I don't think the girls are gonna be in a mask, and if they are, it's gonna be like something like that kind of still represents their characters or something, like who they are supposed to be in the supposed White Six.
Right.
I mean, I still, like I'm saying, I've been excited. I'm excited to
I'm
see. I mean, I'm all over social media all the time. When during Raw and SmackDown, I'm like constantly scrolling. As soon as the show starts, I'm waiting for this Uncle Howdy thing to pop up. If I miss it on screen, I'm honestly right onto it.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed. Yeah. When it didn't happen at Backlash, for sure. Like that definitely had me a little bit disappointed. Maybe it made me lose a little bit of steam, but I'm still super pumped to see where this goes.
We were excited to see it.
Yeah, we were excited to see it.
But what were you saying? My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I mean, I'm just excited to see, especially if they do go down the route of where they target a big group of baby faces, and they all eventually have to team up, and it leads to a giant War Games match between the Wyatt family and this big group of baby faces having to fight them, like CM Punk, Jey Uso, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, maybe.
Seth freaking
Rollins.
Which I wouldn't be mad if they even targeted Rollins.
Right?
To be honest.
Just don't put it in a fucking Hell in a Cell. God damn it.
Yeah, dude, that match was...
That was the worst match ever.
I think the Fiend character lost its credibility after the match with Goldberg, where he lost.
Yeah.
Because Fia was supposed to be like this unstoppable character, then he was beat in like 5 minutes or whatever it was.
Yeah. They ruined Hell in a Cell for me for several years.
I'd be happy I didn't get to watch that match. I think last Hell in a Cell
That
match I
match
watched
is
was Rollins and Ambrose.
seriously,
That was forever ago. Yeah,
it's
that
the
was
worst
forever
match
ago.
ever. How the fuck do you end a Hell in a Cell match in a disqualification?
That's what I'm saying.
Like how?
Doesn't
And
make
why
any
was it
sense.
red? Why was everything red?
I think the point of the red was to kind of help play into. Wait, are you talking about the cage? Was the cage red too?
The cage was red. The lights were red. There was a giant wacky hammer.
I think the red for the lights at least was to help the Fiend character. But other than that, that all sounds really fucking dumb.
In my opinion, the worst match of all time. Because the real worst match of all time, in my head, didn't happen. Brothers of Destruction and DX never had a match together.
In their prime.
They've never had a match together. What are you talking about? Period.
That's fact.
Period.
That's fact.
Alex.
Period, queen.
Period.
Period, queen.
Period. They never had a match. But do you have anything else for this episode, homie?
No, man. I'm just like I said, King and Queen of the Ring is gonna be the debut of Uncle Howdy. If I'm wrong one more time, dude, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah,
They jump in a pool, fully clothed, naked. I don't know.
I'm gonna moan about it on Twitter.
I'm definitely gonna moan about it on Twitter. You'll hear me on that one. Goodness.
Yeah, damn. We'll be upset for sure. All right.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, everybody, for listening to the latest episode of the AR Wrestling Raw and SmackDown review show. Don't forget to follow our socials. Twitter is at AR Wrestling Pod, and Instagram is at AR_wrestling_. And we will catch y'all next time. Thank you.
Thank you.